Hello, how you guys doing out there? I wanted to talk a little more about the mud. That system that I talked about in, I think it was my second time travel video, how I talk about it's a system that limits you. The reason why we're experiencing limitation is because of this mud system. And part of this mud system is the Lizzies. They're like a type of being. Well, before I get into that, what I want to specify is to get out of this mud is the system of requirements. Okay, so it takes a system of requirements to actually pull yourself out of this mud and become unlimited. So then it gives you the ability to time travel. And all kinds of other stuff. You're unlimited. That whatever you can think of, you can do. So back to the Lizzies. These Lizzies, they're part of the mud system, and their job is to actually keep you in this mud. And what they do is they bait you somehow to just to keep you in it. And I guess that's their job. They're like operatives or agents for the dark side. And what they do, they actually like possess unprotected people. And then let me give you some of the characteristics of what a Lizzie acts like when you're confronted with one. An unprotected person can get possessed by the dark side. They act very deceptive, sneaky, argumentative, instigating, aggressive, controlling, judgmental, manipulative, egotistical, misleading, degrading. They will give disinformation, feel or act superior to you, and the misuse of power. They can be any of those characteristics, any of them. And they really try to, they're really good at trying to manipulate you with fear. Because fear, doubt, and disbeliefs are like blocks to keep you what you're really capable of. So these Lizzies really try to get you upset or angry. If they pull you out of requirement, then they're doing their job. To deal with the Lizzie, I guess what you do is you want to blast them with a neon pink light out of your heart chakra. It's about 3 inches thick, neon pink, and you blast them with this beam of pink light. You're visualizing it. And then you hit their heart chakra, filling up their heart and filling up their whole body with this pink light. And what this does, it actually, I guess it forces the will of God upon them, and it could it deals with them. That's how you deal with it. You just blast them with this love. It's the power of love that actually exercises them. You can use this pink light even when you make your food, kneading your bread or making bread. When you're kneading the dough, mixing the ingredients, you blast it with this pink light out of your heart chakra. Man, seems like you can live on that bread alone. It's so good. And another story I tell about this pink light is I had to remove this slab of concrete one time. And all I had was like a nailing hammer, for nails. And I started hitting this concrete with this hammer, with the claw part of it, and nothing happened, of course. I kept hitting and hitting. A couple minutes went by, nothing. So then I heard this voice in my head, blast it. So I started blasting this concrete with this neon pink light. And I started hitting it again with this hammer, and then after a couple minutes, the concrete started to break really easily like sandstone. So it was like I was able to remove this slab of concrete really easily just by blasting it with this love. I'm going to get into the power of love on my next video. I'm not going to get into it right now. It's a whole other video, the power of love. Of course it takes love to turn the key, I say in my other videos. And another thing you can do, I was told by Seth, was a circuiting gold light, that you can run it through someone's body. Like it comes through their body, sparkling gold light going through their body, and then it like fountains out their head and around their body and up through their feet and back up through the body again. And it's this circuiting gold light, and you visualize this circuiting gold light. And one time I visualized that light. I went to visit a friend one time, and there was this guy there. He was like drunk, and I'm saying hi to my friend, and then this guy's like trying to start a fight with me. Real instigating, argumentative, and I actually saw him for what he was, so I visualized this circuiting gold light with this guy trying to start a fight with me. And it circulated around his body, and as soon as I visualized it circuiting through his body, he was like, and then he sat back down really slow, and then I was all like, do you feel better? And he was like, oh yeah, I do feel better. And then he was like nice to me after that. See, that circuiting gold light, and it took love to turn the key, because I came from a loving place, and it exorcised that darkness right out of him. Man, like that. And another time, I was walking home from somewhere. I don't remember where I was, but this was years ago when I was first on my spiritual path. And I was walking home, and there was this fighting crowd, like 10 neighbors from our neighborhood, like fighting in the middle of the street, just going at it. And I see this fight happening, so I visualize the circuiting gold light through the fighting crowd. Man, as soon as I did that, everyone dispersed in opposite directions. It broke up that fight just like that. See? If you use the power of love, you can like break up a mob? There's no limitation. There is no limitation. The only limitation is your thought. If you think you can't be or do something, that's where you fail. So, you can do anything if you put your mind to it, of course. Okay, I want to tell you about a whole time travel experience that I had. Let's talk about desire, because I wanted the desire proof. This would be like proof for me, kind of. Well, not kind of. It was proof for me. It's not really proof for anyone else. The desire wasn't like getting proof for you guys, but the desire was getting proof for me that was I really going somewhere? Am I really going somewhere on my travels? So the desire is the fuel. It took 3 nights in a row because I was wanting to go as I was laying down in bed at night. And it's funny that it happened on Easter. The night before Easter morning that I traveled. Funny because that's the when Christ rose from the dead. And funny that it happened on there. But what happened was, after the 3rd day on Easter, I traveled by this place by the ocean. I was by the ocean. There was a crowd of people. Well, she's my ex-wife now, but she was my wife at the time, was there. My daughter was there, even. And then all of a sudden I heard, well, wait, I skipped a part. I was trying to get to Roswell. My intention was to get to Roswell, grab a piece of UFO metal for proof, and come back. But I ended up not going to Roswell. I ended up going to this other place. It was, so anyway, I ended up going to this other place by the ocean, and I heard this, my daughter was there, my wife, and I heard this loud deflating sound. And I look up and this blimp is coming down. And so I grab my daughter and I look up and I say, safe and protected. And as soon as I said safe and protected, these power lines shot across under the blimp. And then I started to run with my daughter, and I saw my dad was there too. But the funny thing was, my dad was dead at the time. But then I realized later that he must be one of my guides, because your guides go with you on your journey. You don't go by yourself. You go with your guides. So I grabbed my daughter, said safe and protected. The power line shot across, and I started to run. Then I thought in my head, can I get out of here in time? And then I came back. So I was like, wow, that was cool. So I get on the internet and I look under blimp crashes, because there was this loud deflating sound with the blimp. So of course I found the Hindenburg, and it wasn't that blimp. But then I found this blimp crash that happened in Oakland, California. And it happened 3 months prior to when I left on Easter. So it was roughly about 3 months from Easter that this blimp crash happened. And it happened in Oakland, California. And it showed a photograph of this blimp. And it showed it that it was hung over these power lines. And in the article it said no one was hurt in the crash. I was able to go back in the past that I desired proof. Then when I went back there, the power of love allowed me to change the past. When I said safe and protected, it made it a situation where I was safe and protected. Because what you say is law, says Rumta. So I was able to go in the past, and the past was able to change. Then when I came back to my moment, I was able to find that change on the internet. Now here's the kicker. Now my daughter even remembered the, I don't know, you can say it was a dream, but this reality is a dream. You could argue with me it was a dream, but then how was the past able to change and my daughter remembering it? She was like, yeah, this big balloon come down and you run with me, Daddy. That's how she was like. That's what she said. So she remembered it, so I had a witness, and I found it on the internet. So what are the, that's part of the requirements. You can't go back to the past and say, oh, I'm going to change this with my ego. No, that's not going to happen. You can't, like I said in my first video, you can't go back in time and kill Adolf Hitler, you know, because the requirements won't allow you to even do that. You would have to always come from a loving place, and then it must have been for the highest good for that change to happen. So it's really up to love, the spirit of love, to change it. It's not really up to you what can change or what can't be changed. But my point is the past can change. So you can go in the past and change it. But this is really a life-changing experience if you're just sick about being in the mud, sick about being depressed, sick about being angry, sick about judging. You know, all that's limiting, all that stuff. So, and I want to thank you, all my subscribers and all my friends out there. Thank you for your support, and I love you all. I love you. I trust you. Take care. Bye.